Thank you. As Mayor of Central Goldfield Shire, I have the great honour to read the prologue. We have assembled here today to commemorate the day when the young men of Australia, by their deeds and sacrifice, demonstrated to the world at Gallipoli, Australia was truly a nation. The sons and daughters of those Anzacs have come forward and without question accepted gladly and discharged fully their responsibilities during World War II, Korea, Malaya, Borneo, Vietnam, East Timor, Iraq, Afghanistan, and countless other peacekeeping and peacemaking operations. On this day, we remember the sacrifice of such men and women for an ideal, for a way of life. And let us take strength in the knowledge and hope that our children will never forget the example set by their forefathers. In our everyday life, we must attempt to carry on those traditions established in past wars and conflicts at such a tragic cost. Let us mourn with pride those who passed on. However, let us remember with equal pride those who served and still serve. Although the Gallipoli campaign failed in its military objectives, the Australian and New Zealand actions during the campaign left us all a powerful legacy. The creation known as the Anzac legend became an important part of the identity of both nations, shaping the ways they believe both their past and their future. Australians recognise 25th of April as an occasion of national remembrance, which takes two forms. The commemorative services are held at dawn across the nation, the time of the original landing. Later in the day, ex-servicemen and women meet to take part in marches throughout the major cities and in numerous smaller centres. Memorial ceremonies are more formal and held at war memorials around the country. In these ways, Anzac Day is a time when Australians reflect on the many different meanings of war. We now will say the prayer of the nation, if you can join me. Almighty God, watch over all those serving or who have served in the armed forces, and those who are still suffering disabilities through sickness or injuries that are caused by this service. Strengthen and encourage those who have been saddened by loss of loved ones. Grant, O God, that the same courage and resolution, the same comradeship and service shown by all who serve our country may now be offered in greater tasks to make a true and lasting peace. There will be an offering by the RSL Welfare. There will be a tin going, here they come, to collect donations. So if you could donate kindly, that would be so much appreciated. Thank you. We'll do the hymn, the recessional. guest speakers from Highview College, Molly Palmer. Hello Molly, come up. And Maryborough Education Centre, Annabelle Verdon Price.
Veterans, families, young people and community members. My name is Molly Palmer and it is a privilege to speak on behalf of Highview College today as we gather to honour the men and women who have served our country and remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. On Anzac Day, we come together to remember and reflect. We remember the soldiers who landed at Gallipoli in 1915 and all those who have served since. We reflect on their courage, loyalty, mateship and sacrifice for our freedom, all of which form the base of the Anzac spirit. Today I would like to share the story of someone who showed this Anzac spirit in one of the most remarkable ways possible. Her name was Dame Nancy Wake. Nancy Wake was born in Wellington, New Zealand, the youngest of 6 children of Charles and Ella Wake. 2 years after her birth, her family moved to Sydney, where she spent most of her childhood. At age 16, Nancy ran away from home and worked as a nurse before leaving Australia and travelling to New York City. She then went to London where she trained to become a journalist, and by the 1930s was working in Paris as a European correspondent. When World War II broke out, she was living in France. Most people ran from the danger, but Nancy ran toward it, joining the resistance movement in France as soon as it was invaded. Nancy was adamant in joining the war. She said, "I don't see why we women should just wave our men a proud goodbye and then knit them balaclavas." And so she went on to help people escape Nazi capture, deliver secret messages and sabotage enemy plans. Following the country's devastating fall to the Nazis in June 1940, she joined what would become the Pat O'Leary Line, an escape network that aided Allied soldiers stranded in occupied Europe. Due to her clever ability to evade capture by German guards, she was named the White Mouse by the Gestapo, who were the Nazi secret police. Later in the war, Nancy trained with the British Special Operations and parachuted back into France to lead over 7,000 resistance fighters. She commanded troops, planned attacks, and played a key role in weakening the enemy, always under threat of being captured. After the war ended, Nancy was awarded the George Medal from Great Britain, the United States Medal of Freedom, and multiple French awards, among many others. When asked about her bravery, Nancy simply said, "I just wanted to do my bit." To me, this is what Anzac Day is about. It's not just about war, it's about ordinary people who did extraordinary things, simply because it was the right thing to do. Dame Nancy Wake was intelligent, determined, resilient, and selfless. Her story reminds us that the Anzac spirit lives on, not only in soldiers, but in everyday people who choose to stand up for others. We often hear the word mateship associated with the Anzacs, but it's more than just friendship. It's about loyalty, trust, and standing with each other through the most challenging times. Nancy Wake showed mateship in its most powerful form by risking her life for others, even for people that she didn't know. This reminds us that we don't have to wear a uniform to carry these values. We can embody the Anzac spirit in our classrooms, in our families, and in our community. The courage shown by Nancy and so many others isn't a thing of the past. It's something that can guide us today. Whether speaking up when we see injustice or working together for a cause we believe in, these acts of courage and kindness drive the Anzac legacy. For young people like myself, days like today really matter. They remind us that history isn't just something we learn at school. It's part of how we live and treat others. We've been given a legacy built off courage, sacrifice, and service, and it's up to us to continue it in our own ways. Some of us may not face the same challenges as Nancy, but we can still learn from her. We can show courage when things get tough and stand up for what we believe in. We can remember that the freedom we enjoy today came at a cost. So today, as we stand together as a town, let us honour Dame Nancy Wake and all those who have served. Let's live in a way that honours their legacy, not just today, but every day, lest we forget.
Thank you very much. That was wonderful. Now I'd like to invite Annabelle to talk from me.
Good morning, I'm Annabelle and thank you all for coming. Today I'm honoured to talk about one of Australia's most respected military leaders, Sir John Monash. John Monash was born in 1865 in Melbourne into a Jewish family of German descent. He was an engaged student excelling in both engineering and arts. He went on to study civil engineering at the University of Melbourne and graduated with top honours. This education, combined with his practical experience, would help him in his military career. Prior to World War I, Monash had already gained a lot of leadership experience, working in different civilian jobs and serving as an officer in the militia in 1887. By 1913, his skills as a leader and strategist gave him his position as Colonel commanding the 13th Imperial Corps. Monash first became involved in World War I in 1915 when he was asked to lead the 4th Brigade of the Australian Imperial Force. He quickly earned a reputation for being well organised and focused on detail. But it wasn't until later in World War I But it wasn't until later during World War I that Monash became distinguished. One of his biggest achievements came in 1970 during the Battle of Messines in Belgium. Monash's forces carried out a successful attack using careful planning and good coordination between the infantry, artillery and tanks. This battle showed Monash's ability to adapt to new technology and methods of warfare, especially with the use of tanks, which were new at the time. It was the Battle of Hamel in July 1918 that really made Monash stand as one of the most successful commanders of the war. He oversaw an Australian and American force on the Western Front, which he planned a highly effective operation that combined infantry, artillery, and the use of tanks and aircrafts. The result was a quick victory with very few deaths. The battle was over in less than 90 minutes, and Monash's tactics were praised as a model of modern warfare. Monash's approach to war was different from many other generals. He articulated details and careful planning and understood how important morale was for soldiers in the public. He was known for being a compassionate and supportive leader, unlike some of his counterparts, treating his soldiers with respect and trying to minimise casualties wherever he could. What set Monash apart from the most was his ability to use new technology and tactics together in ways that made it more effective. He was one of the first generals to use tanks, artillery and aircraft in coordination, and he was also one of the first to adapt the idea of total warfare, which meant using all available resources, including the civilian population, to support the war effort. After World War I, Monash's contributions were recognised around the world. He became a national hero in Australia and was knighted for his services. Afterwards, he became involved in rebuilding Australia and helped with the development of infrastructure and promotion of education. Monash's legacy is shaped by his innovative tactics and leadership of World War I, helping end conflict and also shaping modern military strategies. He understood the importance of change and always looked for ways to make his forces more effective. Sir John Monash became a founding member of the Rotary Club of Melbourne, Australia's first Rotary Club, and the founding president of the Zonius Federation of Australia and New Zealand. He was one of the principal organisers of the annual observance of Anzac Day, as well as an advocate for Melbourne's Shrine of Remembrance. He died in 1931, honoured by a state funeral, which was attended by an estimated 300,000 mourners. and later recognised for his innovation and leadership on the 30th of May 1958, Monash University was established, commanding his legacy and as a progressive Australian. Thank you, lest we forget.
Thank you very much. Beautiful, sincere words. Wonderful. We're going to go to a hymn now. Lead kindly the light.
Oh, I don't care if it's above this. Actually, mine Shut up.
Thank you.